Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, PETA's got some bad blood with Taylor Swift.
Also, why February is the most important month for your relationship. And more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Isaiah, how are you feeling?
Feeling grand.
Feeling good, huh?
Feeling good. It's a Friday. I'm always feeling good on a Friday.
Yeah, I wish that was true for me. I woke up feeling kind of sick.
Well, then why would you? How many times are you going to come in sick, sit across from me, and tell me you're sick?
Well,
I would rather you not tell me at all.
If I never came in every morning that I was feeling kind of sick, then I would hardly come in at all.
That would be preferred.
I'm sure a lot of people would agree. But it was like, this is a little more sick to where it's like, I mean, I was kind of the sick where you're kind of like fantasizing. I was like, I'm not gonna not do the show, but maybe I'll leave early today.
Oh,
maybe
nice.
I'll go tell the sledgehammer that I just gotta go. But I'll tell you, I got here, I took some medicine. I feel much better, and I'm glad that I showed up in the first place because you brought in donuts.
I did,
which is uncharacteristic of you.
That's good workers do.
Yeah, especially on a Friday when everybody's mood is already up, and you just upped it a little more.
That way, when everybody comes in 6 hours, they will be really excited. They see them donuts on a Friday.
Yeah.
It'll be a good start to their morning.
You'll put a smile on their face. You know what you need to do is put a note on those donuts that says they're from you. So everybody knows.
A dash Isaiah.
Yeah.
That way, like, they're not like thinking you brought them or maybe Michael, the sledgehammer, brought them in for all the workers. No, it was me this time.
Each subsequent person that comes in and arrives, it becomes more of a mystery who brought them. And that means less credit going to you. So
yeah, I'll put a sticker on there.
You should.
It says, like, eat them up, Isaiah.
And yours are better than earlier this week. I brought in, we've been spoiled this week. Earlier this week, I brought in some, they're called Nanaimo bars. They're little squares, like little chocolate, like no-bake dessert squares that my mom made. She made them for something at her work, and that thing got canceled. So then she's like, what am I going to do with all these? I'll give some to Hudson. And I put a little note that it was from my mom.
I saw that and I read it.
But then, because they were unfamiliar, then everybody was asking me questions about them.
What they were. People were asking me as if I knew.
I didn't necessarily even have the answers to them. So I was just like, these are just things she makes. I mean, they're good. Like, try one, I guess. But yeah, so
and then we had cupcakes.
Yeah. Also, from a store. So pretty straightforward what they are. By the way, those got here yesterday morning after the show, and they're already gone.
Impossible. No, they're gone.
Well, did you see them when you put the donuts on the table?
I will tell you, when I left yesterday, I was the only one who had eaten one.
Yeah.
How many did you eat?
One.
You ate one, so there's
I'm
two
on a
gone.
diet. I can't have more than one.
And so that was it.
Yeah.
And that was at like noon.
Uh-huh.
There was none left this morning. Or maybe the person who brought them in took them.
Who was Nene?
Yeah, he probably just took them home.
Why would he bring them in the first place then?
To have some, let people have some.
Yeah.
And
get some credit for it.
And then take it home, and there's probably like 4 or 5 left.
And they're tiny. They were tiny. So I can understand why people would eat more than one. But
the serving size was 3 of them.
For what was it? There was 16 in there. No, 12.
12 in
16.
there.
There was 16.
Was there 16 in there?
Yeah, there was 16.
Oh, my goodness.
There was 14 when I left yesterday. And now
then
they're
the
gone.
Final 3 hours of the workday, somebody ate 14 cupcakes.
Well, it makes it even more grand that you brought in some donuts today.
Yeah, we're like keeping this diet thing going pretty good.
We said this in the Worst of the Riot extra podcast of 3 keys to a healthy life. One of them, controlled occasional indulgence every single day.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
I hold hands. I'm a top hander.
You got to be on the top.
I'm on the top. I'm not on the bottom.
Yep.
I'm top hand.
Yep.
So my palm is facing down.
Yep.
And I'm not really much of an interlocker, I don't think.
You don't interlace the fingers.
Do I interlace? Maybe I do. I don't know.
I feel like it's hard to picture without actually doing it.
You know what? You know what else is a thing?
Yeah.
I'm not as much of a hand holder as I am like a arm interlocker.
Oh, you do that?
I'm more of an arm interlocker.
That sounds like you're setting up to skip. Or
it feels a little closer. And usually right now it's cold outside.
Yeah.
And so if my hand's out there, it's just cold. Like both of our hands are just cold. So me and E will interlock and we'll walk along.
You interlock the arms.
Interlock the arms, we'll lock it in.
So where do
We're
you put,
safer that way too. Like if someone were to try to steal her from me, then if I just have her hand there, it's a hand grab. If I'm interlocked, I mean nobody's taking her then. No questions asked.
They're not gonna be able to pry her away. So what do you do with your hand when when the arms are interlocked then?
Arms interlocked, and I've got maybe like a fist at the chest.
How is that warmer
like
than
a proper
just
gentleman,
holding hands?
like a proper gentleman would.
That like you're walking her down the aisle.
I got it tight, exactly. I got it tight right here.
I didn't.
You've never interlocked.
I've never seen anybody doing that.
That's my go-to.
That's like a form of intimacy.
Oh, that's my go-to, buddy. See me walking down the street downtown, interlocked, nice and safe.
That sounds very romantic. I have a survey here from YouGov. They asked over 11,000 people this question, so like these stats are going to hold up. And they found that interlocking fingers in America is the preferred way to hold hands. 30% of all people prefer the interlocking fingers, while the hand cuppers, where, just the over top, one on top, one on bottom, the hand cuppers, that's only 20%. But I guess that leaves about 50% of people that are fine either way, that don't have a strong preference.
Where do you fall?
Like I said, I think it's hard to picture without doing it, without having my wife here to test it out. But I feel like we're more hand cuppers.
You're cuppers,
I think we're cuppers, not interlockers.
See, I think that me and E can go either way, probably. But if you were to hold hands with someone that isn't your significant other, it's always going to be a cup. You cannot interlock fingers. Like me and you could never.
That would be very strange. I think it'd be strange, and I don't understand this, but it would be strange for us to hold hands at all.
It would be.
Because why? I almost feel like we're more likely to kiss than hold hands.
Oh, definitely not. That's not. Definitely not.
That just shows how unlikely it is that we hold hands.
Like, when would we hold hands?
I don't know. I don't know what the occasion would be.
I guess maybe if we were, like, getting ready to eat dinner, but we were saying a prayer first, and maybe we want to do the thing where we hold hands. My family does that.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing individual.
And, of course, you're not interlocking fingers at that.
No, I am not.
That would be insane.
No,
you don't interlock during prayer.
No,
That's disrespectful.
No, we're just cupping, and I'm just trying to hold hands long enough to where both my brothers are holding my hands, and they're just sweating profusely onto my palms somehow.
There's somebody who suggests the hand holding during prayer, and no matter how many other people are there, everyone else is opposed, but no matter how many there are, there's not enough strength in numbers to say, why don't we not? Why don't we just pray but not hold hands?
And my favorite is when, like, you go over to like maybe your significant other's house for the first time.
Yeah.
And then they all start to reach out hands, and then you have to grab the hands.
It's just understood. You didn't even.
Yeah. Then you're having to hold hands with these people you just met.
Yeah.
And you're trying to act natural.
Like I said, maybe not a kiss on the lips, but I'd rather do the cheek kiss than hold hands for some reason.
Maybe give me a hug.
Obviously a hug better than the hand holding.
Then an extended hand hold is an awkward moment. A hug could be, it's going to last 3 seconds. If we're holding hands, how long are we holding hands for?
It depends
when
how
do you
long
let go?
the person could pray.
Especially if I'm interlacing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I'm worried they're feeling all the blemishes on my hands, all the calluses, hangnails. What are they picking up on here? My hands are private. They're my body. Leave them alone.
That's why you just interlock?
Yeah.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
You may have noticed I'm wearing a hockey jersey today.
I see.
Got to support the team because
Big Red Wings guy.
I am going to a hockey game tonight.
Exciting.
And there's no time for me to change after the show is over.
You're going straight there.
Yeah, that's right. And just sitting. I'm going to sit and wait for the game to start for
You're
hours.
You're going to get down there to like the pregame area.
Yeah.
Play all the games.
Uh-huh.
Have yourself a little time.
I'm going to get some food down there.
Tailgate the arena.
Yeah. It'll be real weird tailgating as a fan of the away team. I'm wearing one of my Sabres jerseys. And, there's a lot of people that are going to go to the hockey game tonight, I have to guess, that aren't like big hockey fans,
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people that go and it's their first hockey game ever, just at any given hockey game.
Could be so.
There's so many people there. Most of them probably not like season ticket holders. It might be something they've watched a few times, but it's probably for a decent portion of people, it's their first time. And for many, I believe seeing hockey live is the best way to see it. Some sports are better on TV. Hockey definitely better in person. Do you agree?
I agree.
So I think most of the people, if it's their first time, if they're not a big hockey fan, they don't know much about it, they see it live, they're probably gonna become big hockey fans, or at least, get interested in it. But not everybody that goes, like, there's not this pressure of like, if you go to one hockey game, you have to be a fan for life. No, that's not a thing that you think about. But I feel like some people have that intimidation for some reason when it comes to a relationship with God, where it's like, if I start talking to Jesus at all, if I give him any space in my life and start to find out what it's about, then it has to be serious. There's no kind of talking to God. It's either you do and he's everything, or you don't and you ignore it. But kind of like going to your first hockey game or like sending a message out on a dating app, the first dipping your toe in doesn't mean necessarily that you have to go all in. But yet again, like going to a hockey game, I think you start talking to God, you give Jesus some space, you see who he actually is, what he's about, and that will probably pull you in. And probably because God is so amazing, he will probably make you some kind of fan for life. But don't be intimidated by it. Don't start getting too many steps ahead of yourself. Give Jesus a chance. Find out what he can actually do for you before you start committing to stuff that you don't even know if that's actually what Jesus is about or not. Start talking to God. You can do it wherever you are, real low pressure, and see what he says back and see what he can do for you. If you want to know more, RadioU.com/free gift, a great place to start as well.
There's never been a can of worms they didn't open. The Riot, Radio U.
One of the hottest artists right now. So hot, in fact, his song Lovin' On Me has been at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 charts for 6 weeks. And he was recently cornered out walking his dog by TMZ. And Jack Harlow, the star that he is, refused to give out his dog's name when asked out of respect for the dog's privacy. Which sounds a little ridiculous, especially when you think that the dog, if you noticed, has been prominently featured in both the music video for his new song Lovin' On Me, and of course, Jack's posted a lot of the dog on TikTok. Why keep the dog's name a secret? What is he hiding?
Two things here.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, I watched the video.
Yeah.
In which he is not telling the woman his dog's name.
Uh-huh.
And that one just seemed like it was Jack was out walking his dog.
Yeah.
And some sort of paparazzi person was standing there taking a video of him, asking him questions when he's just trying to have a normal day.
Yeah.
He definitely was not in the mood to be being asked questions.
Yeah. Would you be?
No.
Yeah. Somebody starts grilling you while you're walking your dog.
So it seems as if more that he just didn't want to talk to the lady.
Yeah.
Than he actually didn't want to share his dog's name. But smart move on his part.
Mm-hmm.
The dog's in the music video.
Yep.
He's posting the dog on the TikTok. And now the big question is, what is the dog's name?
Yeah, builds a little mystery.
Mm-hmm. Little PR.
Yeah, and we see artists all the time. I mean, look at 21 Pilots right now. Tons of mystery about what's to come from them. And now Jack Harlow, possibly by accident, it seems, has built in some mystery to his pup, which very cute the dog is. Now, I felt bad for him watching the video. Like, you do feel bad for celebrities realizing they have to put up with these paparazzi. Like, these people, the TMZ people, they're fearless. They're out there all the time. Anytime you step out your front door as any kind of noteworthy person, as Isaiah and I well know, you just, they're ready to ask you questions.
And it's so funny because she acts like she's friends with him.
Yeah.
She's like, Jack, it's so nice to see you.
Yeah. You're
he's
just
like, hi.
What did she say? You're having a casual walk with your dog? I love that.
You're just out here walking your dog.
Yeah.
Just out here just for me to grab you.
Like, he wouldn't do that. Like, celebrities, they're still normal people. Why would they not walk their dogs?
You know why he doesn't walk his dog? Because you're out here.
Yeah, that's right. But all that said, even if he was the most anonymous person in the world and you're out walking your dog, you're always liable. Maybe not the questions that she's asking, but you never know when somebody is going to just be like, can I pet your dog? What's his name? All these things. So that I don't necessarily feel as bad because it's a fact of life. You walk your dog, you got to do it. You may be questioned by strangers because your dog is cute. It happens.
Cute people like to come out to cute dogs.
Yeah.
I keep my dog far away.
You do?
Yeah, from people that are walking. Like, if I see another dog approaching or a person, I'm going to the other side of the sidewalk immediately. I'm keeping Jim far away from everybody. I don't want people touching him.
Actually kind of do the same
I don't want other dogs near him.
Would it be uncouth? I don't mind chatting with strangers. It's more the dog is like, I don't want anything to go wrong. And I never know it's the fear of the dog. But would it be uncouth to get like one of those vests, like it's a service dog or something, just not because she is a service dog, but just so people don't pet her?
Oh, you don't want people petting your dog?
Just so you don't have to worry.
I think you should just lead off with she's aggressive. You're going to need to give me some space. You're getting too close.
Yeah.
If I did that with Jim, even though he's the least aggressive, he wants pets more than any other dog, it would be hilarious. He's aggressive.
Yeah.
Back up, because he's obviously pulling towards people because he loves them so much.
That's true. That's
he's
what
gonna look
Sophia is
scary.
too. She just wants to make friends, but I don't want her jumping up on somebody.
Yep.
And as much as I try to train her, you just never know. And you never know how people are going to react. So maybe, that's a good idea. Just say, I don't know with her. I don't know.
Back away.
Watch out. She'll get you.
You don't always have to agree with Isaiah to always disagree with Hudson. The Riot. Radio U.
And we're getting closer to the end of February. Isaiah, I've got a theory here I'm going to throw at you. It's going around TikTok, the February theory. See if you ascribe to this. This is from Victoria Alario on TikTok.
Basically, what the February theory is that what happens in February stays in February, meaning, like, if you and your man break up this month, like, that's it. Like, it's a big month for breakups and ending relationships and ending cycles, and vice versa for starting. So if you meet somebody new, you go on a first date, somebody new comes into your life, that might be a thing. They're most likely sticking around. They're going to stay. The February theory is that, like, what happens this month with relationships is permanent.
Do you believe it?
I think there's some truths to it.
What is it about February that makes it the permanent month for relationships then?
I think that if you've made it through the holidays are fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Once the holidays are over, then you hit January, the start of a new year.
Uh-huh.
And so January's fresh month, getting things going.
Yeah.
By the end of January, you've spent a lot of time together. You're probably spending a lot of time inside during January and February, hanging out a lot on the weekends, maybe.
Just real one-on-one with no distractions.
Maybe getting tired of each other. Maybe getting annoyed with each other. And this isn't a fun time of the year.
Yeah.
You're not going to concerts. You're not going on vacation. You're not doing festivals. There's not patios going on. Outside parties.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of just chilling out at the house. And then February hits, and February, one of the worst months of the year.
Yeah.
Easy time for you to think, maybe I need to spice things up in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this isn't doing it for me. Easy time to be frustrated with your significant other. If you make it through February, then you're getting into the summertime. Fun time.
Yeah.
Fun activities together. This is a tough month for relationships.
So it makes sense, definitely from the breakup angle, too, because you think, I think the most popular day to break up is December 21st. The next most popular day to break up is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. They call it Red Tuesday. And if you break up with somebody right before Valentine's Day, I think I said Thanksgiving. If you break up with somebody right before Valentine's Day.
Is Red Tuesday before Valentine's Day?
Red Tuesday is the Tuesday before Valentine's Day.
Got it, okay.
If you break up with somebody right before Valentine's Day, that's not going to come back.
It's over.
Yeah, because that sends a very clear message. That's not wishy-washy at all. That's a romantic day is coming up, and I don't want to spend it with you. So that makes sense. But what is it about February that would also make starting a new relationship feel so permanent?
In my mind as well, you make it through February. This is a very, like in the beginning, honeymoon-esque, right?
Yeah.
It's easy in the beginning. And so you make it through February.
Mm-hmm.
and then this is the tough month. Make it through March, and then you're into a lot of fun. A lot of fun in the summertime.
Yeah.
So like a lot of like relationships usually end pretty quickly. So if you can make it through a month together
Yep.
in this tough month of February, then you're looking good. Because the summer's coming and your relationship is only going to get better in the summertime.
By the time the next winter rolls around,
You're strong.
You built a strong bond. Yeah. That actually, I can see it. I can see it.
Colin texted in.
Yeah.
Or Colin texted in. He said, not saying I believe the superstition, but my wife and I did start our romantic relationship in February. Me and E met at the end of last January, started going on dates last February.
So it could hold true for you. I can tell you I've experienced the breakup side of the February theory. Yeah, so I was on the receiving end, by the way.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Well, it worked out okay. It worked out okay for me. It did. But the evidence adds up. It's starting to add up. The anecdotal evidence.
That's 3 for 3 there.
Yeah, that's right.
You got broken up with. Colin's a happy man.
Yeah.
And me and Eve been hanging out for over a year now.
Look at you. Yeah, so February theory might just be real. I wish we found out about this earlier in the month, though.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
We've got the brand new spiced Coca-Cola. This is their first permanent new addition to their flavor lineup. The first permanent new flavor of Coke in over 3 years. They've got a new regular version, a new zero version, and we have them here to try. Isaiah, first impression, these are very fragrant.
Little sniff test?
Yeah, I don't need to get them anywhere close. I can smell it from here.
They are very fragrant.
Yeah.
Similar to regular Coke, though.
It smells similar. I'm getting more fruit from these, which makes sense because I think, what does it say on there? They're raspberry flavored.
Raspberry spiced.
Raspberry.
Is what I'm seeing here.
Is that a normal combo? Raspberry and spice?
I'm not sure.
I can't say that is anything I've ever heard of before.
Could it be spicier than normal Coke? Coke is spicy.
It has a bite. Not as much of a bite as Barks, but it's definitely got a bite. I don't know. We will see. And I think it was important too that we got the zero version and the regular, because so often we found in these food fights that even though they're supposedly the same flavor, they taste way different.
Oh, yeah, completely different.
Yeah. So
any zero sugar pop is going to taste completely different.
Yeah. But it feels like it makes sense to try the full calorie one first. It almost smells like soap.
Spicy.
Yeah. That's weird. It tastes like
yeah.
Doesn't it kind of taste like you're drinking like potpourri or something like that?
Potpourri.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like?
I don't know, but I like it.
Yeah. You think it's good?
Oh yeah. Tastes like a Coke with a little something extra.
It has some kind of like cleaning supply taste to it.
What a horrible depiction of a pop.
But that doesn't mean I don't like it.
Tastes like Lysol.
It's
like Coke with a splash of bleach.
It's like Febreze. It's like Febreze. It tastes like a Glade Airwick. But I feel like I do like it a little bit.
If you handed this to me and told me it was a Coke,
yeah,
I might believe it.
Oh, well, you must not drink Coke very often.
Seems pretty similar to me.
I think if you had that with a Coke side by side,
I'm saying if you handed it to me.
Yeah.
If you handed me a Coke and then had me drink it, I would clearly know the difference, as I do have taste buds. But if you handed it to me,
yeah,
and said this is a regular Coke, I would have a hard time. I might think it's a little different, but I would have a hard time telling the difference.
Well, I'm gonna try the zero version to see if it's anywhere near as good as the full sugar one.
How about if I handed you that and I said it was a Coke Zero?
I don't think so. Oftentimes I'm fine with drinking zeros. So
pretty flavorful.
Yeah. So normally like Coke Zero is kind of one of my normal options I would go to. This does not compare to Coke Zero. It's not as good.
You don't think it's as good?
Regular Coke Zero is better, but the original spiced whatever Coca-Cola, I feel is better. Or, I don't know about better. It is comparable
You can't
to
comp
regular
it to
Coke.
Febreze and then say it's better than
Why?
Coke.
It has like, it has some,
You said a cleaning supply taste.
yeah, but that's like, because it's like,
Spicy?
it's not soapy, but like it tastes like soap smells, which could be a compliment. Soap usually
Tastes like
smells
soap
pretty
smells,
good.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't taste soapy. It doesn't feel like somebody dropped the soap into it. It just feels like if it has the taste that some soaps smell like.
I like it.
Yeah. So does this pass the test? Would you buy this again? If this is on the fountain at McDonald's, would you get it?
Good question. I would say I'm just as likely to get this as I am a Coke, which
That's
is
a pretty
unlikely.
good sign. Yeah, that's a good sign
But
for you, though.
for people that like Coke, just as good.
Yeah, I'm
Pretty darn close.
I am impressed with the full calorie version. The 0 version, disappointed because that's the one I would actually realistically drink because cutting calories. But the full calorie version, that gets a thumbs up. That's good. So I'll give it a 4.
A 4.
A 4 out of 5. Good enough to possibly buy if I was just perusing for full calorie soda.
I would say I'm more likely to get a Coke just because I trust it more than this for a full bottle.
Yeah.
I would put it just below a regular Coke. The Coke Zero just below a Coke Zero, but I would go regular Coke before this. But if you're a Coke drinker, you should try this.
Well,
you might like it a lot.
Yeah, now at least everyone knows that they can go test it out and it won't necessarily be a waste of their money. That's your food fight.
Do yourself a favor and follow The Riot on Instagram at RadioU Riot.
It is The Riot on Radio U, 8772 Radio U. I've got a question for you, Isaiah, and it's actually something that we could probably open up to the Riot hotline as well.
8772 Radio U.
What is one thing that you are snobby about?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, do you think either of us has a snobby personality?
I'm fussy.
Fussy?
I'm not snobby.
Yeah. Yeah, picky is different than snobby.
I'm a silent complainer.
Uh-huh.
I'm not an out loud complainer.
Yeah. And you're definitely, like, when I think of snobby, I think of you. I think you're the kind of guy where quality matters to you. But that doesn't mean in many areas of life you aren't willing to dip down to the lower depths, the lower ends of some certain things. But even the people that are the most everyman of us all, even the people that normally don't splurge on anything, there's still areas where they're snobby, where it's like, no, that won't do. It has to be the best. So what is that for you? What is the number one area for you where you're a little bit of a snob?
And it doesn't even have to be the best.
Uh-huh.
It can just be your preferred.
Yeah, or you just won't take the lower end stuff.
Or sometimes, and this is what's crazy about being snobby, and I'll do a quick one for me. One of mine is chicken nuggets. Frozen chicken nuggets.
Uh-huh.
Very snobby about it.
Yeah.
And it's not snobby in the way that I have to have the highest level brand or the most expensive one. I want a good chicken nugget if I'm going to get frozen chicken nuggets. The Kroger brand chicken nuggets,
Yeah.
incredible. I have Tyson ones in there, more expensive. They're terrible. I can't even finish them. It's not always about getting the most expensive version,
Yeah.
but what you prefer. If you prefer bottom barrel pizza and you hate the really good stuff,
Yeah.
then you're picky about pizza. You're a snob about it. It's not always snobby in the way that you like the real expensive cars.
Yeah.
Maybe you just like your car and you're not able to go with everything.
And I think to be clear too, when we're talking a snobby attitude, it doesn't have to be just about products. Many people go in that direction, but I mean, clearly being a movie snob is a thing. Maybe even you're more specific. Maybe you're like a comic book movie snob where only the best Marvel ones will do. And some of the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man's not good enough. That's you're a snob about that. It can be about anything. So 8772 Radio U. Let us know the one area of your life where you're the most snobby. Isaiah's already thrown out frozen chicken nuggets for him. I posed this question. I have one answer, but I want to see if I can think of any more too. So 8772 Radio U. We'll see what people are saying coming up next. It is The Riot.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than The Riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
I have 3 that I've thought of. 2 have been texted in by others. 1, coffee, texted in by Kim, a.k.a. my mom. She's a coffee snob, and I know that that's true. She is. She also says her coffee needs real cream. The powdered stuff won't do. Milk won't do.
A popular choice, coffee is.
Yeah.
A lot of people like good coffee.
Yeah. And it's just the bad coffee is so bad. It's so different than good coffee. I'll throw some brands under the bus.
Throw them.
Folgers, Maxwell House, not good enough. I am on the camp that McDonald's, not good enough. Some like McDonald's, not me. Dunkin'.
Really?
Dunkin', not good enough.
My dad loves McDonald's.
Yeah.
Coffee.
I know my grandparents, Canadian, this is crazy. They say McDonald's in Canada, their coffee, better than Tim Hortons.
That's pretty controversial.
Yeah, it is. So coffee, a great answer. We had a Jay text in, another good one. I didn't think about this, but I do agree. Orange juice. Jay says it has to be pure premium.
I like good OJ.
Yeah.
There's certain brands that I like.
Uh-huh.
In certain ways that I like my OJ. I'm a home style guy. I need as much pulp as possible.
Yeah, likewise. But I don't know that I don't think I can afford to be an orange juice snob. If I can just buy the cheapest orange juice, I'm happy then.
See, but I won't drink it.
You wouldn't drink it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, not Sunny D, but I just mean if it's actual orange juice, even if it's not high quality, I still feel like I'm getting a treat. We also have, sticking in the drink variety, Josh says Kroger chocolate milk.
Fire.
Like the Kroger brand. That's what you need, I guess, is he saying? Now, this was the other one. This is surprising. Chad says shaving cream.
I looked up his brands that he switched.
Yeah.
He said, I know it sounds stupid, but years ago I decided to try a different brand. I went with Cremo over Barbasol. Haven't been back. And you'd be shocked at the price difference. It's like a $14 difference.
Is Cremo the more expensive one?
Cremo's $15 on Amazon. Barbasol like $1.47.
So he is willing to pay up 10.
Congratulations on all your success, Josh.
Worth every penny.
Jason, sorry.
Yeah, Chad. Chad is the shaving cream guy.
Chad.
Jason texted in one of the other ones for me, and that is a music snob. And I feel like a lot of people listening to Radio U, it makes sense you'd be a music snob. And I do still tend to kind of look down my nose a little bit at like music that I don't think is good. But I think I've softened over the years because I used to be like, it's got to have something amazing about it. Like music has to have either amazing instrumental, whatever, very great lyrics. It has to have something. And so I hated it, like all pop music, wasn't a big fan of rap. But then at some point I was like, but another thing that can be excellent about music is just making it catchy. It's not easy to make a catchy song. And so I've changed a little bit on that, but I'm still with Jason. I'm still a little snobby about it.
I'm not a music snob.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a music at a party snob. Or a music in the car snob.
Yeah.
If you're on aux and you're at the party and you're not reading the vibe, you're probably the worst person at the party. You're actually killing the party.
Yeah,
you're
that's
ruining
right.
the party.
Yeah.
And so if you're on aux at a party, I'm a snob about that because the music alone can completely ruin the vibe or completely make the party.
This one, does this speak to you? Are you an Avatar The Last Airbender snob?
I wouldn't say I'm a snob, but I do love the show.
Emily says she's an absolute snob about Avatar The Last Airbender. She will go toe-to-toe about it. I mean, I'm familiar with the show. I don't even know what that means.
She's radio toe-to-toe about it.
I mean, I know
she
that.
knows what she loves about it. And if you don't like Avatar The Last Airbender as much as she does, she's ready to fight you on it.
The other one that I came up with for myself was hot dogs.
You won't just eat any hot dog?
Very on brand for me. Yeah.
You better stop.
I will only do, it's got to be all beef. It's got to be all beef. And I tend to not even want, even if it is all beef, ballpark. Not as good. Not as good of a brand. I'm very picky. I'm very snobby. The non-all beef are not as good. I refuse. Don't give them to me.
Thomas says steak. I guess I'm a bit of a snob about it. I can't do a cheap stuffed steak.
That makes sense. You don't want the tough stuff.
D says barbecue, pie crust,
Of course.
and coffee as well.
Pie crust. Interesting. I didn't even know there was a difference in like brand or like do you only do the graham cracker crust? Because that is, I mean, clearly the superior style of crust.
Chad says that's like $8 at Walmart for the Cremo.
Still a lot.
$7 difference.
Compared
A lot of people,
to
nobody's texted this, and people usually text in toilet paper.
That was, yes, you're right. Toilet paper. I'm totally a toilet paper snob. Single ply, get that out of here. I will leave your house. I will go to the bathroom elsewhere if you can't provide 2-ply.
My other one I was going to say is storytelling.
Oh, yeah?
I hate listening to it.
Yeah. Bad storytelling.
Yeah.
People that don't know how to spice it up.
I like a nice fresh story. You can make your story so good. Unfortunately, your story not as entertaining.
They should just let you tell all the stories.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
Has been altogether too long since we've mentioned Taylor Swift and or Travis Kelce on the show. But they're back in the news. But they're not exactly the subject of this story as much as PETA is. See, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, of course, overseas in Australia. Taylor Swift carrying on the Australian leg for Eras Tour. And one of the things they did while they're out and about together, actually multiple times it looks like, is go stop by the Sydney Zoo. And PETA is very upset about this. The organization PETA. They say, while we understand all too well the appeal of seeing Australia's wildlife, PETA hopes the next time Taylor and Travis want to see wild animals, they'll spend their time and money at a true sanctuary.
This was Taylor's second trip to the zoo in just a short week.
She really loves it.
Some people are saying in like a 3-day span. She went without Travis, and then she went with him.
Yeah.
She loves the zoo.
She must have loved it so much she saw so many things. She's like, Travis has got to see this. That's probably what she was thinking.
He's got to get here.
Yeah.
Yeah, PETA, I mean, I'm starting to wonder if PETA knows less about animals than we do.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder. Because
Tell me
PETA talks
more.
about how obviously they prefer them to go to an animal sanctuary.
Yeah.
Because the visitors are not allowed to feed or touch the animals there. It must keep their distance so as not to disturb them.
Yeah.
I have not been to the zoo in a while. Do you get to touch animals?
Very few.
Feeding
Very
animal?
few. I think Taylor and Travis got to feed, and this is something I would love to do. I didn't. Our zoo doesn't do this. They got to feed the kangaroos on a private tour. How fun does that sound?
Sounds incredible.
Yeah, but apparently that PETA is anti-feeding kangaroos.
See, and I would say another reason that I don't think they know animals very well.
Yeah.
I'll relate it back to my dog Jim.
Mm-hmm.
If a guest came over and gave Jim a little snack,
Yeah.
happy Jim. If a guest came over, did not pet Jim, nor gave him a little snack,
Yeah.
unhappy Jim. I have to think a kangaroo could be similar. Doesn't everybody love a little snack? I brought you some donuts this morning.
Yeah. Look
You
how
like
happy
that?
I am.
Happy boy.
Yeah. Yeah, and PETA talking about animal sanctuaries. I'm sure there's many animal sanctuaries that do great work. Probably the majority. But I've seen Tiger King. I know just because it's called an animal sanctuary doesn't mean that it's treating the animals all on the up and up. And just because PETA is just assuming because it's a zoo means that it's bad. How you're really going to take on the entire zoo industry, PETA?
It's tough. It's really
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, there's a
He is
lot
always
of.
saying crazy things.
They have a tendency to go for like the biggest bully in the room, but when they can't even, extinguish some of the smallest of animal issues.
Like actual animal like abuse, like
Yeah.
real serious stuff.
Right? Yeah.
They're attacking zoos. Zoos are a tough thing to take down.
Some zoos, the way they treat animals, I'm sure, debatable. It's probably more debatable than it is clearly wrong. But yeah, there's a lot of like clearly wrong things, and PETA doesn't make a lot of headlines for those. They're just taking down the debatable stuff, the debatable at best.
PETA's starting to get to NASA area.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the heck they're doing.
And you think about PETA too. You want to know one of the ways you're not going to make inroads with anybody? Attacking Taylor Swift.
Probably the worst person
Yeah.
to try to take down.
Mm-hmm.
Being upset with Taylor and Travis. And I'll tell you this much, too. You should just be upset with Taylor because everybody knows Travis ain't picking where they're going.
No, not in this case for sure.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Isaiah, you uttered the word NASA earlier this morning, and I want to see if now you can finally cool it with your NASA hate now that they finally accomplished something.
They got something going?
As of yesterday.
No way. Something good?
Good, yes. NASA responsible, kind of. NASA had instruments aboard a lunar lander that yesterday made it to the moon from U.S. soil for the very first time since 1972.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's pretty impressive.
NASA wasn't solely responsible for this. It was really built and flown by a private Texas-based company called Intuitive Machines. We talked about how they did the launch last week, and it was successful. It made it to the moon, and now they've got this lunar lander there down near the South Pole, and they can start doing some wheels on the ground, not boots on the ground, but wheels on the ground research on the South Pole of the moon.
Touching down for the first time in 50 years.
Yeah. Unbelievable that it has been that long since the United States has put anything on the moon.
And people question why I question NASA.
Yeah. Well,
Wildly.
you can question no longer because we've done it. We're back.
We've touched the moon once again.
Uh-huh.
No humans, correct?
No humans. It was an unmanned vessel.
Ah, wow. All right, well, we got something up there.
Uh-huh.
We're on there.
Yeah.
I like to be on there.
Uh-huh.
I feel like we should always be touching it. It feels like something should always be going on up there. Can we not have a rover roving around? Can we not get a spaceship up there every now and then? It feels like we should be able to do that. First time in 50 years we got up there.
Yeah.
Now let's see, are we going to find a bunch of things?
There's got to be stuff we're going to find just because it's so big and unexplored.
So then I'm thinking,
Yeah.
if we're going to make all these discoveries,
Mhm.
right, they're going to be coming out with things like every day. They're going to be having some update.
Yeah, I betcha.
Oh, we're on the south side of the moon now.
Yeah.
South Pole, we're finding
Uh-huh.
all these things.
Yep.
And I'm going to be wondering if they were all these things to find, why'd we wait so long to find them?
It's not easy.
Clearly.
It's not easy. We've had some missions to the moon as of recently. Didn't go as planned. Didn't work
Somehow.
out. Yeah. Because it's not easy to get up and out of our atmosphere. Pretty difficult. It's not like it's only been recently that other countries have been doing it too. So it's not like we're lagging behind the rest of the world that much.
But we figured
I'll
it out in
defend-
1960. I mean, yet again.
I'll defend NASA.
You'll defend them?
Yeah, they're trying.
But think about
They're
all the...
outsourcing now.
the
They're getting some of the best
advancements.
minds on this.
I'm always shocked by the advancements we make from like 1960 whatever
Uh-huh.
to now. Like we have iPhones the size of my pinky
Yeah.
that I can put in my pocket that are just incredible.
But
We
an
didn't
iPhone
have.
doesn't have a rocket blaster. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to
but
make it
don't
out of
you-
the atmosphere.
Don't you think that if we could have figured that out, like we figured it out a while ago,
Yeah.
50 years ago, how to get there. In the last 50 years, think of all the technological advances. It feels like we should have just a bus that just goes there every weekend by now.
You know what's amazing? Is that like back in the day, people used to go, we could put a man on the moon. And that'd be like them being upset. But they can't make this thing work properly. And now you're doing the exact opposite.
We can't put a man
We
on
can
the
put
moon.
an iPhone in my hand, but we can't put a man on the moon again.
Exactly.
It's complete role reversal.
That's how much NASA's been slacking.
Yeah.
That here on Earth, somehow, we've now surpassed what they've been able to do on the moon. They can't get to space again. I mean, yes, they did it.
Yeah.
They finally done it for 50 years. But I've just been wondering, what have we been doing the last 50 years? Because they weren't really worried about it. But now I'm excited.
Yeah.
What can they find?
This feels to me like one small step for man and one giant step for the United States.
Wow.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Have you noticed that the gyms seem to be, at least the gym you go to, has it seemed to be a little less crowded than it normally would be around this time of year?
It's hard for me to tell. It's such an up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it feels busy. Yesterday it was empty. There was nobody in there.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Many days it feels packed. It's felt lighter as of late, which I love.
Yeah. Apparently, that is a noticeable phenomenon at the moment that gym attendance is down in 2024. And there's an interesting reason to explain that. And that is Ozempic and other drugs like it. It's a twofold thing. One, people have been using Ozempic and Wegovy and the other drugs along that line that have been approved for weight loss. And so they're losing weight without needing to go to the gym, first of all. But secondly, those that have been using Ozempic and other drugs like it and trying to go to the gym have been experiencing nausea, dizziness, and oftentimes vomiting because of the side effects of Ozempic and the way they present when you're trying to work out, when you're trying to do physical activity. Apparently, it makes it more difficult. And so people that normally would be hitting the gym just can't do it because of the Ozempic.
And you think about just about the last thing you want to be feeling when you're in the gym is nauseous.
Uh-huh.
You don't want to be there anyway. Anytime that I feel bad in the gym, I am cutting that workout short. If I'm lightheaded, if I feel maybe a little bit too hungry, if I can find any excuse to get the heck out of there, I'm out of there. And I try to go like every day. If I'm feeling nauseous, if I'm thinking I'm going to vomit, out of there.
Yeah, you don't want that embarrassment. And many people, unless you're the most dedicated of gym rats, you're looking for reasons why to come up to justify skipping out early or not going to the gym at all. And I'd say the feeling nauseous, possibly being afraid of vomiting, feels like a pretty justifiable concern to get you to skip the gym. So Ozempic is now hurting the gym industry, it sounds like.
Well, it feels like it was kind of doing that anyway. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword. Ozempic is cutting through the gym industry. How are they going to recover?
Yeah, people are taking Ozempic and just losing weight, and then when they go to the gym, they can't even stay because they're going to throw up. Then they're just going to take Ozempic.
Yeah,
and just lose it that way.
I'm telling you, it's tempting. Because I don't want to go to the gym anyways.
Yeah.
And I think Ozempic could, I think I'll be able, I recently started a diet to shave off the pounds that I need to shave the old-fashioned way with dieting and a little more physical activity. But it sure sounds like Ozempic would do the very same thing, and it might be easier.
Yeah, it sounds pretty incredible.
Yeah, it does. A miracle drug.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.